Hello and welcome to the Rainy Night Listens podcast. I'm Haley.
And I'm Wyatt, and this is the podcast that you save for a rainy night instead of a rainy day. So, today we are talking about the mystery of the Mary Celeste. Do you know what the Mary Celeste is, or just Mary Celeste, or Mary Celeste?
You know, that last one, I think I got it. It's a boat, right?
Yeah, exactly. So they had like a secondary spelling and maybe enunciation for it, where like other people said its name differently. So I was like, I don't know, I'll try, I guess. I'm just gonna sound stupid, but
No, I feel like I know that it's a boat, and I've seen its name pop up whenever I've been looking up things for podcast topics and stuff like that, but I've never actually looked into it before, so I'm kind of excited for this episode.
I'm glad. I probably don't have as much information as the other people for it, so I've got what I've read. But before that, it's Hagen's historical word of the daytime. Hagen.
Cause.
Oh.
Ooh, what kind?
Because
What? Oh, okay. All right. Now, without further cause, what is the... She gave me a thumbs down. She didn't like my joke. What is the Mary Celeste? The Mary Celeste was a Canadian-built, American-registered merchant brigantine. I was like, that's a long one, but it's better to have all of that in there than not. So, Mary Celeste was built in Spencer's Island in Nova Scotia. It was launched under British registration as Amazon. So its original name was Amazon in 1861. But later, it was transferred to American ownership and registration in 1868, where she was then named Mary Celeste. So it was originally a British ship named Amazon, but later turned American and named Mary Celeste. So what makes it something that we would cover?
My guess is something funky happened.
Something funky. I think you already know, so.
I actually really don't.
Oh. Well, to our knowledge, the Mary Celeste had a smooth and uneventful sailing from then on until 1972. Well, I think it had like some kind of like crash that it got in while it was still a British ship, but then it was rebuilt. I think.
Wait, until 1972?
Oh, sorry, 1872, not 1972.
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
I was
No,
reading off
you're
of that,
good.
but yeah, that's a typo.
I did that on mine too.
Imagine this is an 8, where the mouse is at.
Yes.
So, so on November 7th, 1872, holy crap, 1872, there is no 9 here, 1872, captained by Benjamin Spooner Briggs, the Mary Celeste departed from New York City, heading for Genoa, but unfortunately, the ship never reached its destination. It was found abandoned and adrift by the Canadian brigantine, the De Gracia, I think how you'd say that, in the Atlantic Ocean off the Azores on December 4th, 1872. So it
was almost a month later that they found the ship abandoned?
Yeah. See, it started in New York, heading for Genoa. And on the next one, I'll talk about its last log. Its last log took place around this black dot, and it was found here. So,
I guess, sorry, how long was this trip supposed to be?
as far as I read, I never got like an end date of when they were supposed to arrive.
But if they had a last log position of November 25th, I guess it was probably still within the normal time frame, right?
Yeah, it seemed like it was like how it was going. Like it was on par or whatever, like how it was supposed to be going. But then something happened between November 25th and December 4th, and it was just found abandoned and adrift.
What the heck? So there was no one left on the ship?
Nope. Everybody was gone. The entire crew, which I forgot to put in here, but it consisted of seven crew members, the captain, and then his wife and daughter. Those were all the people on this ship. So, things to keep in mind. When the Mary Celeste was found on December 4th, its lifeboat was missing. All of its cargo of alcohol, because the cargo it was carrying was alcohol, all of the cargo was still intact. The ship still contained ample provision, so it should have had still more than needed resources to make it to its destination. So it's not like they ran out of food or water and stuff. It still contained their provisions. The captain's and crew's belongings were found undisturbed. So
what the heck?
So like nobody packed up and left. Their stuff was still there.
Yeah.
And no one aboard was ever seen or heard from again. Like they never resurfaced. From what I read, they never resurfaced. And as we saw before, the last entry in the ship's logs was dated to, it says 10 days earlier, but is that accurate? Kind of. It was like 9 days early. I don't know. Anyways, the Mary Celeste was still considered seaworthy when found. Its sails were partially lowered and damaged, however.
They were damaged?
They were damaged, yeah. And it was like, because the sails were partially lowered, which was, and I didn't talk about who, like the people who found it, the De Gracia or whatever. They found it, and when they spotted that the sails were partially lowered and kind of damaged, they were wondering what was up with it, because the captain of the De Gracia was actually good friends with he was friends with Captain Spooner or Benjamin Spooner Briggs. So when he saw the ship adrift, he was like, okay, well, why is it just floating around? Like, that a boat that's captain has a direction it's heading in. This one was just kind of drifting in the water with its sails partially lowered. So that's when they pulled up, investigated, and realized no one was on board, and reported that. So so what happened to the crew then? These are theories that I've read. As stated before, they were never seen or heard from again, but that doesn't stop people from wondering and trying to figure it out. Some theories include foul play / mutiny, like they didn't, a mutiny. They staged a mutiny against Benjamin Briggs, but if that happened, why wasn't the rest of the crew still on the ship? Okay, sure, they tossed the captain and his wife and daughter overboard, I guess, but where's the rest of the crew at then? Or piracy by the De Gracia. So they think that the ship that found them, attacked them instead.
Weird, okay.
Once again, referring back to they believed that the captain of the De Gracia was friends with him. Like he said, it was believed they knew each other. Like I don't know, just whatever friends do, like go and eat lunch together or something. And then also insurance fraud or salvage fraud is another theory. But if that were the case, why did he never surface again? You can't really show up and claim the money on an insurance claim if you're gone. So, and some people think the alcohol fumes from the cargo may have affected them.
What the heck?
But I don't know. I don't know how the cargo was obviously stored or what, but I like to imagine that if they were moving that much alcohol, they'd know how to move that much alcohol safely. And then submarine earthquakes, which is just earthquakes from underwater that affect ocean, causing tidal waves and stuff. And then water spouts, which water spouts are like water tornadoes basically. And some people believe that it was paranormal intervention. Never explained what. They just said paranormal intervention. Nondescript paranormal intervention. And some people you think even a giant squid attack, which I guess could explain the damaged sails, but the rest of the ship was reported not damaged, so I don't think that would make sense.
That is so weird.
And I think the sails being damaged was more of like a being set to partially drawn in the sea from being adrift,
Oh, that's fair.
because like they get damaged when they're put in bad conditions, right? Like in a storm, they'd roll up their
Yeah.
sails and stuff. So it's like, are they damaged because of something that happened, or were they damaged just because they left them slightly lowered in like harsh winds and like storms and stuff? So it's like,
Well, I feel like that's the part that's getting me is that the cargo was still there.
yeah,
Because it would make sense that the crew mutinied and took everything and got rid of the captain and his family. But the fact that the cargo is still there doesn't make sense. But the fact that the lifeboat was gone makes it sound like someone left the boat.
yeah,
But why?
yeah. And what happened to the rest of the crew? Like, okay, so 7 people, 8, 9, 10, so 10 people. Well, 9 people and a child.
Yeah.
They were all on the ship. They never explained the proportions of the lifeboat,
Oh.
so
Maybe
it
it
could
could have
possibly
carried
hold
on.
everyone. So maybe they just. Sorry, what?
Did they ever look at like the food and stuff that was there? Like, was their food bad? Like, was it contaminated or anything?
I didn't read anything of that, but I was trying to find it. But just going off the websites alone, because I skimmed a couple, but they all kind of had the same information. So, but it seemed like they didn't say anything about the food being bad or fermented or rotten or anything. So it could have been that, though. I mean, there's a lot of holes in in it, and that's the
Yeah.
problem. Like,
I'm curious if there are any, like, islands or anything around that area. Because if they didn't find it until 9 or 10 days later after the last log was made, let's say that they get hit by a big storm and it's bad enough that their sails are getting damaged, and so they abandon ship because they see land, and so maybe they thought that that was like a safe place, but then their ship wasn't like, I don't know, did it say anything about like an anchor being down or anything?
they said it was adrift, like it was just floating freely.
Because I don't know, I'm just trying to think of how they, like, why they all would have left the ship.
Yeah,
And,
if it were
Like,
a
if it was a storm and it kind of like took the ship away and then they were all left like on some island somewhere.
yeah,
I don't know.
it's like
That's my first thought, but I don't know.
yeah, like if it were
It's
a storm,
crazy.
why would you get in a lifeboat?
Yeah, that's true.
Because I feel like I don't know enough about aquatic storms, but I imagine that the waves are bad enough that a lifeboat is way worse place to be than on a boat.
Yeah.
And why were the sails partially drawn? If they're gonna abandon the ship or something with the intention of coming back to it, they shouldn't leave the sails down. Well, not down all the way, but it said they were partially lowered, which means it was still catching wind and drifting.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. That's the mystery. Why did they abandon the ship?
Interesting.
Did everyone make it off the ship? And why did they never show up again? Like,
This is super crazy.
it's just too many, like, just holes in the. There's too many gaps to make it like something that you could quickly figure out. So it's like what seems plausible is something caused them to go out on the lifeboat, and then maybe the lifeboat got like swept away by sea, or maybe
Yeah.
a storm flipped over the lifeboat and they all got lost at sea, which is possible. But why'd they get on the lifeboat? Like, this was.
It seems almost like, which maybe it's because I don't understand ocean currents very well, but it seems as though the lifeboat would have been caught in the same currents that the ship would have been caught in.
Exactly.
And so it would have at least gone in the same direction, I would think, but I don't know.
Yeah. Like, let's see on this little map. Is there anywhere they could have ended up somewhere between here and here that they could have gotten to on a lifeboat? Like,
Yeah, because
the closest positions are like around here, around here.
well, and even if that's where they ended up finding it, that doesn't mean that that's the same area where it was abandoned.
Yeah, it could have been abandoned the same day the log was made.
Yeah, and so it would have had all of that distance that it was just
drifted.
being pushed.
Yeah, it could have been a while, like the same
Yeah.
day, and it could have just drifted
What-
around, but ended up there when the other ship found it.
What did the last log say?
I tried looking for it. I couldn't find
Oh.
something. I could try looking it up real fast. Where's my phone at? But yeah, it's really interesting, huh?
Yeah.
After even more searching, I still couldn't find the log itself. All it says is where they were at. Well, all that I've collected is that it explains where they were at sea, how far they were from New York towards crap, I forgot where they were going. It was Genoa, heading towards Genoa. And yeah, that's about all I've heard is just we're this far out, this many days from where we want to be or something. Obviously, like I said, I wish I could find it. It'd be a lot better
Yeah.
to show it so that we could get a better explanation, but they don't show it. So we are about at the end. That was all I had on it. It was kind of really heavy information, but not a lot of information.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then the funny part is that it later was bought by another, or was captained later on down the line, and that captain ended up crashing it on purpose for insurance fraud. So
Oh,
that's
perfect.
that's the supposed end to the Mary Celeste. Is
Aw.
she was later crashed by another dude, or they could have rebuilt it afterwards, but I didn't read that they did.
Jeez.
So yeah, that was my take on. I mean, my video on the Mary Celeste. Any final thoughts?
No, it's so weird.
Yeah, like why? His wife and daughter were on that ship. Like,
Yeah.
you'd think he wouldn't make any irrational decisions. As a captain, you kind of you have to be able to make decisions under pressure, like quickly and efficiently, as well as the fact that his wife and daughter were on board. So you'd think
Yeah.
he'd have a pretty dang clear head with no matter what decisions he was making.
It's so weird. I
Yeah.
don't know. I want to look into it more too. It
Alrighty.
sounds so strange.
I know, it just doesn't really make sense to me. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching or listening. I hope you guys come back. And if you're interested in our shorts, they're on TikTok, Instagram. Right? Just TikTok and Instagram.
And we do YouTube shorts as well.
And YouTube shorts. As well as we're on Apple Podcasts as well. All under the same name, Rainy Night Listens. So if you'd follow us or even leave a comment, we'd appreciate it a lot. So thank you.
Bye.
Bye.